Hello, YouTube. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm trying out something new. It's a software called Loom, where I can record my screen, and sometimes, you can also have like a webcam on you and the screen at the same time. Today, however, I'm just going to have the screen here, and I'm going to continue with the al-Madina course. The Arabic course. I had gone up to lesson 4 previously. Um, and I was actually filming the actual book, old school style. I've been doing this YouTube thing for over a decade now. So sometimes I do some old school stuff. But I thought, hey, why not get with the times and do something with new technology? And frankly, this is just easier. Um, so, lesson 5. And lesson 5 primarily is trying to teach you um, two different things. It's trying to teach you what's called in Arabic as idafa, or possession, kind of like your S. So we can say John's keyboard. So the apostrophe S here is idafa. That is possession. That apostrophe and that S stands for possession. It is John who is possessing the keyboard, right? The keyboard is possessed and the possessor. All right. And idafa can also be used in Arabic to mean including in something or possessed by something it's included. And here's just something out of from my trips to Egypt. عصير ليمون بإضافة نعناع. So that's lemon juice including mint, which was one of my favorite things to get to drink in Egypt. And then today we're also going to cover Hamza al-Wasl and Hamza al-Qata'. And what's the difference? Okay. So here we have an alif that has nothing on it or nothing but. And here we have an alif with a hamza on top, an alif with a hamza on the bottom. And this is a alif with a hamza that's elongated. All right. Which we'll get to here. So that's what this lesson is all about. And I also want to give you some background as to my qualifications for teaching Arabic. I study at the University of Minnesota in their graduate master's program. And I had been taking courses there since about 2011, I think it was. And I've been studying Arabic and teaching Arabic in various local mosques for the past 9 years. And I studied Arabic in Egypt at an institution there, getting a certificate. And I also did a master's degree at the University of Chicago in Islamic studies through their religious studies department. And not only did I have Arabic classes that were just Arabic, where all I was doing was studying Arabic at an advanced level, but also all the classes that I took required me to do research with Arabic primary sources, and in those classes, we're reading Arabic texts. So if I took a class on Imam Ghazali, for instance, I would be reading like the Ihya Ulumuddin, or one of his other texts like Al-Munqidh min al-Dalal, and so on. And I took classes on Islamic law where we would just be reading Islamic law books in Arabic. So basically what I'm trying to say is I do have a lot of experience with Arabic, and all throughout the years, this book, the al-Madina series, has been the best book that I've seen, my favorite book, and sometimes it is completely ignored by Western universities or Western professors of Arabic, Western teachers of Arabic, because it comes from al-Madina University, which has, I guess you might say, the stigma of being the top university for teaching Wahhabi, Salafi oriented Islam, which a lot of people around the world don't like or have some sort of bias against. And regardless of what you think about, like, that belief system, that type of aqidah or whatever you want to call it, this is an excellent book. Learning language. You don't even have to be Muslim to use this book. This book teaches you modern standard Arabic and classical Arabic at the same time. It teaches you Arabic for communication and Arabic for reading texts at the same time. So this is like the most holistic, well-rounded text that I've ever found as far as teaching Arabic. And so I'm just going to begin now after giving you some background about this. So here, lesson 5 starts with the conversation between Sa'id and Yasser. And mainly what it's trying to teach you here, besides what I've showed you in this Word document, is what's called al-i'rab. And i'rab, it comes from the same root as araba, meaning, the word Arab. So araba or Arab, it has, like, the original Arabic root means to be crystal clear, to be absolutely clear in meaning and in speech. All right. So al-i'rab is form 4 of the verb araba. So it's a'raba, which means to make something clear, to force it to be clear. You're putting an action on it to make it more clear. So here, what that means is that these endings of the words, that's i'rab. They call case endings or declension. Here, 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 and here. All that is to make the sentence more clear, to make the meaning more clear. But oftentimes what you'll notice is when you have, modern standard Arabic as a spoken language, and it goes by different rules, frankly, than the written language informally. So if you ask any Arabic person, usually they'll tell you, oh no, it's all the same rules, but then when they speak, they're actually using different rules. And what I mean by that is usually in the written word, to be as clear as possible, these case endings will be put in so that you can understand exactly what's going on without too much thought, without having to grammatically analyze the sentence to say, okay, which case ending should it be? Which you'd have to do if it was not vowelized. Now, native speakers of Arabic and advanced readers of Arabic, they're going to be, most of the texts they're going to be reading are not vowelized. And most Arabic books are not vowelized. And they are doing grammatical analysis to see, okay, which case ending is happening here. But when they're speaking, a lot of times they're not going to be using these case endings in speech because the meaning is going to be implied through context or through the sentence structure itself. And these case endings are going to just be like extra credit, like superfluous. They're just not needed. It might make you sound pretentious or like a foreigner who doesn't really know Arabic that well. They're just not needed a lot of times. But in the written word, they like to put it there. You'll obviously in Quran, it's fully vocalized so that people can memorize it correctly and pronounce it correctly. And you'll see many times the hadith are fully vocalized as well for that very same reason. But generally speaking, a lot of Arabic books are not vocalized. But we still have to learn the grammar so that later on, when we come across a text, we can grammatically analyze it. So you'll notice here that proper names by default are going to have dhammatain. So it's sa'idun, yasirun versus one dhamma, like kitab Kitabu. Kitabu. I mean, the only reason that it has one dhamma here is because it's in possession from Muhammad. It's possessed by Muhammad. Otherwise, it would be kitabun. And normally Muhammad, it would be Muhammadun. Hamid would be Hamidun. But because Hamid is possessing a book, it's Hamidin. So now I'm going to actually read the conversation, and then we can kind of grammatically analyze each sentence. So Sa'id says, Akitabu Muhammadin hadha ya Yasiru? So notice that we have Yasiru here instead of Yasirun. Muhammadin instead of Muhammadun. Kitabu instead of Kitabun. So here he's saying, is this book Muhammad's, O Yasir? So there's a lot of things going on in this one sentence, and this just shows you the genius of the author, Sheikh Dr. Abdul Rahim, who's a professor at the Islamic University of Medina. He has a PhD in linguistics. He's still alive. He's still teaching at the Islamic University of Medina. Feel free to Google him or watch videos of him on YouTube. But here we have the particle there, which is just they call it harf istifham. It's an interrogative particle, meaning that it's just there to show you that this sentence is a question. And then we have Kitabu Muhammadin. So Muhammad's book. So instead of being Kitabun, it's Kitabu. Why? Because it's possessed by who? By Muhammad. So Muhammad is not Muhammadun, it's Muhammadin, because he is possessing the kitab here. And then we have this, hadha. So why is hadha like way after kitab? If we're talking about this book, as we've seen in the very first lesson, it should be hadha kitabun. This is a book. Or hadha al-kitab. This is the book. But whenever you have idafa, not whenever, but most of the times when you have idafa, possession, you'll see that hadha will come after. So if you see hadha at like the end of a sentence, or like after some sort of ism like that, like kitab, after some sort of noun or something, then usually that means there's possession going on. But that's not always the case. As we can see right in the next sentence, it's right before kitab, even though there's idafa going on here too. So what Dr. Abdul Rahim is trying to show us is that, watch out for that. But if you do see it, know that it's a sign for idafa. And he's showing you both variants of it right away. And then here, instead of being yasirun, it's ya yasiru. So whenever you put ya in front of a proper name, ya meaning O Yasir, then it's going to change from yasirun, from dhammatain to one dhamma, yasiru. So then Yasir says, La, هذا كتاب محمد. Sa'id says, Aina kitabu Muhammadan. Where's Muhammad's book? Yasir says, Huwa, meaning it, the book, Huwa ala al-maktabi hunaka. It is on the desk over there. And here we have al-maktab. Al-maktab has a kasra. Why is there a kasra here? See that kasra? Because ala is what's called an amal. Oh, gotta switch it over here. Amal, which means worker. That's what it literally means. That's the linguistic meaning, is worker. Oh boy, it doesn't want to work smoothly for me. So worker is amal. Whenever something is an amal, that means it's going to have an effect on the word that comes after it. It's going to turn the word's case ending into something else. So instead of al-maktabu, we have al-maktabi because of ala. And ala makes maktabi majroor. Why? Because it's harf jar, which we talked about in the last lesson. So we have harf, meaning article or letter, harf jar. So jar will make something majroor. Majroor. So harf jar will make the next word majroor, meaning that it has a kasra or that it has kasratain, like ammarin. So هو على المكتب هناك. So maktab is majroor. Ala is harf jar. It's an amil. It's a harf. So we will go to the next one. Sa'id. أين دفتر عمار؟ أين دفتر عمار? Where is Ammar's notebook? Where is Ammar's notebook? Notice here that it's not daftarun, it's daftaru because it's being possessed by who? By Ammar. And so it's going to be Ammarin with kasratain. Ammarin. All right. Yasser says, it, meaning the daftar, هو على مكتب هو على مكتب المدرس هو على مكتب المدرس هو على مكتب المدرس. So there's a couple things going on here. So first of all, there should be a shadda on top of the ra. Now, a shadda will completely change the meaning of an Arabic word. A shadda means that the consonant is repeated twice, or that it's emphasized, that you hold that sound. So instead of saying madaris, you say madaris or mudarris instead of madaris, right? You're holding that ra. Mudarris, mudarris, okay? You're holding it. But oftentimes, Arabs, when they print books, they're extremely inconsistent with actually typing the shadda. So a lot of times in Arabic books, you'll see the shadda missing. And that's because they intuitively know by being native speakers, and when you get more advanced in Arabic grammar, you'll intuitively know that there is supposed to be a shadda there. However, for beginners, it can be quite confusing, and especially Egyptian publishing houses are notorious for leaving out the shadda in print when it's supposed to be there. So that's something you always want to keep in mind, and you want to memorize which word has a shadda and where. And so here we have ala, which is harf jar, which is making maktab majroor, but instead of being maktabin, it's maktabi, because it's possessed by al-mudarris. So there's two things going on. This is being, maktab is being affected by ala because it's majroor, this is harf jar, and because it's possessed by mudarris, it's not taking a tanween, it's just taking one kasra. So ala makes it kasra, mudarris makes it one kasra instead of kasratain. So huwa ala maktab al-mudarrisi. And then instead of being al-mudarrisu, it's mudarrisi, it's majroor, because it possesses maktab. So the notebook is on the desk of the teacher. The notebook is on the teacher's desk. The notebook is on the teacher's desk. It is on the teacher's desk. So there's a lot of stuff going on just with these three letters right here. And just as a fun fact, huwa and hiya, meaning it or he or she, they are pronounced differently in some Arabic dialects. So like Huwa in Egypt usually sounds more like Howa. And in Syria, they'll say it Huwe. Syria, Palestine, Lebanon, Huwe. And they'll say Hiye. So just some variants to look out for, because sometimes even when people are speaking modern standard Arabic, their dialect pronunciation slips in. And sometimes I do that too, just because, when you're speaking with people and they're always saying one type of pronunciation, it just kind of rubs off on you. So Sa'id says, قلم من هذا يا علي قلم من هذا قلم من هذا يا علي. So here it says, this pen is whose? Because men is a particle here, and it's the possessor of qalam. So qalam isn't qalamun, it's qalamu, because it's being possessed by men. But men, it's not a noun, it's not an ism. All right, it's a particle. So its endings don't change. It doesn't take case endings, it doesn't take declension, it doesn't take i'rab. It's what you call mubni or ghair mumsarif. So it doesn't change. So it'll be qalamu. Qalam changes. Qalamu men. So whose pen, or the pen of whom. So, and it's saying hadha at the end here. Remember I say hadha can come afterwards with possession. So this pen is whose? Ya aliyu. And notice here we have a shadda because there's some emphasis here on the ya. But it's missing over here. It should be there. It should say aliyun. Aliyun. So there should be a shadda there, but you can see when they omit it all the time. They're very inconsistent with it in the Arabic print. So aliyun says, هذا قلم المدرس. هذا قلم المدرس. So this is the teacher's pen. This is the teacher's pen. سعيد. أين حقيبة المدرس? Where is the teacher's bag or briefcase? Right there. Where is the teacher's briefcase or bag? هي تحت المكتب. هي تحت المكتب. So there's a few things I want to talk about here. Firstly, this word haqiba is kind of confusing to Westerners. Even for me, it's not a word that I've ever seen fully defined by any Arab. But haqiba is talking about a bag that is like a proper bag, meaning like a briefcase or a purse or some kind of maybe like a backpack type thing, something that's like a real, like decent material bag. It would never be used for a plastic bag or any kind of shopping bag. And then we have this word tahta. Tahta means below. Some people consider it a particle. So a particle can act like it's being possessed by a noun. So here we have al-maktabi. Al-maktabi is possessing tahta. All right. So that's why instead of al-maktabu, it's maktabi. Some other grammarians will say, no, this is like a harf jar. And the reason that maktabi has a kasra is because this is harf jar and this is majroor from the harf jar. So there are different explanations as to why something happens grammatically. And there's famously two different schools of grammar. You have the Kufan school and the Basran school of Arabic grammar. And they believe in a lot of the same rules, but they just might explain them slightly differently. Here it says tamarinu, which means exercises. So ajib an as'ilati al-atiyati. So answer the following questions. Aina kitabu Muhammadin? Aina kitabu Muhammadin? So where's Muhammad's book? Huwa ala al-maktabi hunaka. Aina kitabu Ammarin? Aina kitabu Ammarin? So, oh, well, it looks like we only talked about Daftaru Ammaran, not his book. So let's use our imagination. Kitabu Ammaran تحت المكتب. So it's below the desk. أين حقيبة المدرس؟ هي تحت المكتب. Moving on, it says أضف الكلمة الأولى إلى الثانية. So here it says, make the first word possessed by the second word. So here we'll have kitabun and muhammadun. Neither one are possessing each other. They're both marfu', meaning they have dhammatain. They're in their natural state. Nothing's acting upon them. And then if we make the first word possessed by the second, we say kitabu muhammadin. Now it's Muhammad's book. Kitabu muhammadin. Kitabu muhammadin. By the way, in the name Muhammad, there should be a shadda over the meme. You can see how they omit the shaddas. So kitabu muhammadin. Maktabun. Al-mudarrasu. Both rafa' in their natural states, marfu'. Okay. Now if we make possession, maktabul mudarrasi. Maktabul mudarrasi. So qalamun. Hamadun. Qalamu hamadan. Miftahul bayti. Baytu abasin. Dukanu tajiri. Dukanu tajiri. And I'll leave the rest for you guys to do on your own. اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. So read and write with precision the endings of the words. So باب المدرسة. حمار الرجل. بيت الحامد. سيارة المدير. And I'll leave the rest for you guys so that you can get some practice. اقرأ. أين بيت المدرس؟ هو بعيد. Where is the house of the teacher? It is far away. Al-Qur'anu Kitabullahi. The Qur'an is the book of Allah, or the book of God. Al-Ka'ba Baytullahi. So here it's just showing you how all this can be used in different kinds of sentences. So Muhammadun sallallahu alayhi wa sallama Rasulullahi. So this part here, grammatically, you could say it has no function in the sentence. The important thing is Muhammadun, Muhammadun Rasulullahi. خرج المدرس من غرفة المدير. هذا بيت حمد وذلك البيت الخالد. You can see when you actually learn these rules, it becomes like a subconscious thing to apply. So ابن عمار طالب وابن ياسر تاجر. بيت المدرس بعيد وبيت التاجر قريب. هذا مفتاح سيارتي. أين مفتاح البيت؟ من أنت يا ولد؟ من أنت يا ولد؟ أنا ابن عباس. أنا ابن عباس. أنا ابن عباس. وابن من هو؟ هو ابن خالد. أين مسجد رسول الله. So here, Rasul possesses masjid. So أين مسجد رسوله. And then Allah possesses Rasul. So أين مسجد رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. هو في المدينة المنورة. So his mosque, it is in the illuminated city. بنت حامد في مدرستي وبنت محمد في الجامعة. The daughter of Hamid is in primary school and the daughter of Muhammad is in university. اسم المدرس سعيد واسم المهندس خالد. عم الطالب غني. باب المسجد مفتوح وباب المدرسة مغلق. خال حامد فقير. خال حامد فقير. سيارة عباس في الشارع. All right. So I went through that really quickly. I know. And the idea is that you guys go back and review this lesson and fill out all those things for yourself and think through the process for yourself. And I didn't translate most of them because I want you to translate it yourself. Think through it yourself. أين من أنت؟ أنا ابن المدرس. أين الكلب؟ هو تحت السيارة. This one I'll try to explain a little bit. So it says, where's the dog? It is below the car or underneath the car. I remember the first time I read this sentence, I was really confused. I was like, what do you mean the dog is below the car? Did the dog get run over? And this just takes some cultural understanding. So if you look at my video where I talk about learning Arabic in Egypt, the dogs there, they're wild animals. They're like wolves here in America. They're feral dogs. I mean, they're still considered domesticated dogs, but they're wild animals. They're nobody's pets. And they like to sit on top of the cars. I showed a picture where a dog was sitting on top of the car. That way no other animals bother it. It's safe from predators. Just chills and sleeps on top of the car. Sometimes they sleep underneath the car to get out of the sun, to get out of the heat, and to rest. It's a safe place for them. So that's what it means here. And then here it says كون جملا مفيدة جملا. So كون جملا مفيدة بملء الفراغ فيما يلي. So formulate or structure, create a meaningful sentence. When you say mufida, it literally means beneficial. But what they mean by that in grammatical jargon is it means that the sentence contains meaning. So create sentences that have meaning by filling in the emptiness within what follows. So here we could say باب البيت مغلق. أين مفتاح السيارة؟ محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم رسول الله. And I'll let you guys finish the rest by yourselves. This one says صحح التركيبات التالية. So correct the following compounds or structures. So this one is supposed to be القلم الطالبي. قلم الطالبي. It's not supposed to have alif lam, and you're supposed to add, what's the case ending there? It's قلم الطالبي. This one should be باب سيارتي. Should have a kasra, not a dhamma. So I'll let you guys practice the rest on your own. And here it's trying to show you the rule that in the natural state, a proper name should have dhammatain. It should end in un. So you have Muhammadun, Khalidun, even a different type of noun like ustadun, which means professor or teacher or something you just say to a respected person. Ustadun. And here we have waladun, like child or boy, waladun. And when you put ya in front of it to mean oh Muhammad, oh Khalid, oh professor, oh child, then it'll change to one dhamma. So it'll be ya Muhammadu instead of Muhammadun, ya Khalidu instead of Khalidun, ya Ustadhu instead of Ustadhun, ya Waladu instead of Waladun. And there's this very famous book by Imam Ghazali that's called Ayyuhal Walad. So Ayyuhal Waladu. And here it says اقرأ واكتب مع ضبط أواخر الكلمات. So read and write with accurate endings of the words. So this should be Ya Aliyu, Ya Abbasu, Shaykhun, Ya Shaykhu. So that's just practicing that rule there. I'll leave the rest for you guys. Here it's saying اقرأ المثال الآتية ثم كون أسئلة مثله مشيرا إذا الصور التالية. So read the following example, then formulate a question like it, that points to, or that indicates to, that alludes to the following pictures. So here the example is Kitabu men hada. So then you could say Qalamu men hada, Qamisu men hada, Baytu men hada, Sariru men hada. And then here it's talking about what I mentioned earlier, where you have Hamzatul Wasl and Hamzatul Qata'. So Hamzatul Wasl, it's going to be an alif which has nothing sitting on it or below it. And I'm not talking about kasra, fatha, or dhamma, but I'm talking about there's no hamza above it, like this, over here, and there's no hamza below it, like that, or an elongated hamza. Okay. So ismu waladu, or ismul waladi, Muhammadun, wasmu. See this little symbol right here? See that symbol? That symbol means that it's being that hamza or that alif is being glossed over. It's not being pronounced. So the wa already has a fatha on top. It's just not shown. So wasmu, not wa ismu, but wasmu binti Zainabun. Ismul mudarrisi Hamadun, masmul mudiri. So here is a question. It's saying what. So this is a harf istifham. I'll write that down for you guys. There's a new grammatical term that you should know. Harf al-istifham. And it comes from the root fahm. So harf al-istifham. So masmu, instead of ma ismu is wrong. You're going to say masmul mudiri. And also ibn has the hamzatul wasl. So ibn Khalidin fi madrasati wabnu Hamadin fil jami'ati. Ibn al-mudarrisi fil fasl. Ayn ibnu al-mudiri. So ibn al-mudarrisi fil fasli. Ayn ibn al-mudiri. Okay. So that's what that's trying to teach you. The difference between Hamzatul Wasl and Hamzatul Qata'. In Wasl, it means to arrive at. Qata' means to cut or cutting. So when you have this symbol of the Hamza sitting on top of the Alif or below it, or you have this elongated Hamza, it cuts the sound. So that's what it means by Qata'. اقرأ ما يلي مراعيا قواعد نطق همزة الوصل. همزة الوصل. All right. So here it wants you to practice more with the Hamzat al-Wasl. So Ibn Muhammad fil Iraq wa Ibn Hamadin fil Hindi. خرج ابن الطبيب من البيت. ذهب ابن التاجر إلى السوق. اسم المهندس فيصل واسم الطبيب مسعود. ما اسم الرجل ابن من أنت أنا ابن الوزير. Alright, so it's teaching you more about Hamzatul Wasl. And I know I'm going quickly, and I'm doing that on purpose because I want you to go back and practice these on your own. I'm just trying to explain to you the basics of the rules. I want you to sit down, think about it, analyze the text, write down what you think it is, practice reading it aloud, and figure it out on your own. That's the only way you'll really ever truly learn. So a lot of the things, as you notice, I didn't translate, and that's because down here it says al-kalimat al-jadida, are the new words, the new vocabulary, and now I'm going to translate these words for you. So ar-rasul means the messenger. Risala means message. Arsala means like to send a message. So ar-rasul means messenger. Al-Ka'bah. So the word ka'b, it can mean cube or something that like sticks out or protrudes. That's why sometimes the ankle is called ka'b. So al-Ka'ba, it refers to the big black cube or box looking thing that Muslims make pilgrimage to, and they circumambulate it. They make tasawwuf around it. Okay. And it's considered the house of God. Okay. Al-Ka'batu Baytullahi. I think that was one of the sentences we just went over. And with the Kaaba, the story goes that it was built by Abraham and his son Ishmael. And so that's the building that Muslims make pilgrimage to and, circulate, you might say. They go around it. Circumambulate is the technical term. Then you have al-ismu, name, can also mean noun or adjective in grammatical jargon, but general speech it just means name. And ibnu, al-ibnu means the son. Al-ammu means uncle. Al-khalu also means uncle. Al-haqibatu means bag. As-sayyaratu means car. Ash-shari'u means street. It's also related to the word sharia. The sharia is supposed to be a path. Or ash-shar' meaning revelation. So it's related to those words. Ash-shari'u. Mughlaqun means locked. Tahta means below or underneath, under. You have hunaka means over there. And instead of saying huna, which means here. And huna, you just take out the kaf, it's just huna. I just also want to, occasionally bring in Arabic dialects here just to make it easier when you're actually speaking to people in real life. In Egypt, they like to say hina instead of huna. They'll say hina or henna. So ihna henna, we are here. That's Egyptian dialect. And in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, or what they call the Levantine dialect, the Shami dialect, they say hon instead of huna. Then you have al-muhandisu, which means engineer, the engineer, al-muhandisu. So when I was living in Cairo, Egypt, the neighborhood that I lived in was called muhandisin, engineers, because it was built in the 1960s and primarily engineers lived there originally. So they called it al-muhandisin. And here, this is the grammatical language that's used to explain idafa in Arabic grammar. And it's really important to learn the Arabic terms for Arabic grammar because they are used in books, in Arabic books, when they're trying to explain the grammar of a certain sentence or passage. So when you have idafa, you're going to have the thing being possessed, which in this case is the car. That's what is being possessed. It's called mudafun. What's being possessed is called mudafun. And the thing that possesses it, mudarris, it's the teacher who owns the car. The teacher is called mudafun ilayhi. Mudafun ilayhi, meaning it's possessed by him. It's possessed, this part, ilah, by who, for huwa. It's possessed by him. Mudafun ilayhi. So this we would call mudaf, that's the possessed item, and this we call mudaf ilayh, it's the possessor. Okay? So that's important, and very important to memorize this little chart here. Because whenever, in like exegesis, what they call tafsir al-Quran, you're going to see this type of vocabulary used a lot in explanation of a hadith or the preserved statements and actions of the Prophet Muhammad. You'll see these grammatical terms used to explain the hadith, what's happening grammatically, and in many other kinds of Arabic texts. And then next we'll have the lesson number 6, so I won't go there now. So that completes lesson number 5. I hope everything I said was clear. Feel free to watch the video over and over and really think through the lesson really hard. And remember, with this particular copy, if you bought the same edition that I've talked about in all my videos, it does have an English answer key that's in the back of the book. So if you go to lesson 5 there, you can find the English answer key, and it translates, a lot of the instructions, and it gives you, of course, the answers a lot of times. Otherwise, if you go to the website kalamullah.com, it has an answer key there too. And go through all the exercises, do them yourself, and inshallah, you'll learn all these rules really well. So that's going to conclude today's lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.